Good morning and welcome to Rise and 9.
Wednesday, January 28th. We're still in January all week.
I know. I couldn't believe there's a whole nother week of January this week. It feels like it's been January for quite some time now.
78th, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're ready for it to warm up. It feels like every day we're just talking about the same thing over and over. It's freezing cold. It's brutal out there.
Oh, I know. I took Walt for a little walk. I'm like, we'll just go. If we get cold, we'll quit. I was outside for 16 minutes and I was so cold. I was so bundled up too, and it wasn't enough.
You're braver than a lot of people. I haven't gone outside. I know I made this joke yesterday that I haven't been outside in like 3 days or something. I don't know. I don't want to go out there till it's at least 30 at this point. Like that's how stubborn I feel about this.
It's going to be warm next week though.
Yeah, it
Warmer.
will. It's going to feel warm
Yeah.
relatively. It's going to be really nice.
Yeah, and just we're happy it's above zero anytime.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There's a little chance of snow coming this weekend, but you know, we'll see that when it comes and maybe it'll melt.
Right. You have to be careful if you have to drive in it. But if I have a day where I don't have to go anywhere, I really enjoy the snow. Just having a cozy, if you can have a cozy day inside, it's so much nicer than having to worry about driving in it.
That's true. I like it around the holidays. At this point, I've been dreaming about golf courses and I just can't wait for it to warm up outside.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. Won't be too long.
Exactly. But we do have a lot that we're covering this morning, starting out with Trump's visit to Iowa yesterday.
Yes. So we had a team there in Des Moines, of course, covering this. But this is ahead of the midterms, he said, is, one of the reasons why he came to Iowa. And he focused his speech on the economy.
Right, and affordability, talking about his tariffs. One thing that he did not mention was the fatal ICE shooting this weekend.
Yes, there were protesters that gathered outside, and that was one of the big things that they were protesting about is the immigration enforcement.
Right, and Trump also asked farmers if they like ethanol, and that's something farmers have been wanting for years since Trump took office in January, for lawmakers to allow E15 sales year-round.
Yes, and we did air a fact check on the president's speech yesterday as well. That's on our website, kcrd.com.
Yeah, addressing some of those comments he made about John Deere's building factories and inflation.
Yes. Some news stories we want to bring you this morning involving some major job cuts.
Yep, we found out about these this morning. UPS cutting 30,000 jobs, and that's because they're expecting to deliver fewer Amazon packages this year.
Yeah, and this comes as Amazon says it's cutting 16,000 jobs, saying that it's adjusting for artificial intelligence. That's after they already laid off 14,000 workers in October.
Right, and UPS also laid off tens of thousands of jobs last year. We're not sure if there's any jobs in Iowa that are being lost, but we'll be sure to monitor that.
Yeah, many jobs there. Also, Brian Tabak did a story yesterday with some people in an apartment complex in Mount Vernon who don't have heat. We were just talking about these cold temperatures.
Right. And that's even made worse when you don't have heat in an apartment, and they're not even sure when they're going to get heat. They're having some issues trying to get a hold of it their landlords.
Yeah, this is at the Imperial Apartment Complex. So he spoke with a woman who lives there named Sarah Cunningham. She said it's been 62 degrees at her apartment for the last 4 days since the heat went out. And she said it's been hard for her to sleep, hard for her to work.
And she also has a daughter who has a chronic illness that flares up because of the cold. So it's something they're trying to manage. Across the hall, their neighbor also been without a heat as for a week as well. He also says his temperature in his apartment, the coldest it's been, is 61 degrees. So yeah, very cold. I mean, it's one thing when it's 61 degrees and outside and you're wearing a coat and everything. Different when you're just in your home. I know we've done stories that you can get hypothermia when it is as warm as 60 degrees.
Yeah, and we were just talking this morning, just our own preference level in our home. I like it when it's around, I'd prefer like 72, but my husband gets hot. So, we usually keep around 68, but I'm cold at 68 degrees in the house all the time with a blanket and sweatshirts and all of that. So I can only imagine how that actually feels for them in the apartment.
Right, and we know when we have extreme heat that has a cumulative effect on your body the more days you go. So I would imagine it's the same thing when it's cold, that, it adds up and the longer you're having to deal with that.
Yeah, if you're able to get a reprieve from that cold. The two that Brian spoke with said that they have called their landlord of the building. The landlord is Stoddard and Jensen Real Estate Services. That's out of Coralville. They've called several times in the last few days. Sarah said she's called their emergency line 2 to 3 times a day.
Right, and a maintenance worker says the issue is with frozen pipes that have to be thawed, and in an email to residents, they said the only way to fix that is with warmer weather outside.
Yeah, and they've also asked that residents not make repeated calls or emails saying that it's difficult for their staff to focus and do their jobs, and that also included having police call the office on behalf of residents as well.
And Brian even spoke with the mayor, and he said, these are his words, no responsible landlord should let this go for more than half a day probably.
Yeah, and so the mayor did say that City Hall is available for anybody during these cold days, including those residents at the Imperial Apartments.
Yeah, and added that the Lynn County Planning and Development has sent the landlord a notice of violation, citing a lack of adequate heating. That temperature mark is at 68 degrees.
Yeah, and that's despite them giving residents heated blankets, as well as space heaters. Those don't count when it comes to this.
Yeah, and in just 5 days, the owners could face violations if things don't change by then.
Yeah, and Brian did reach out to the Stoddard and Jensen Real Estate Services Company and is waiting to hear back on this. But of course, a warm-up not coming quite yet. So yeah, I imagine that they want that heat on as soon as possible.
Right, hopefully they have some good news soon. It's only going to get colder before it gets warmer next week.
Right. Looking forward to next week.
Absolutely.
That'll feel so nice. Even 30 degrees coming from, we had the feels like at negative 40. That is quite the swing.
Yeah, even close to negative 50, that's going to be 80 degrees. And we were talking some temperatures across the nation too, also seeing a dip into cold. Florida in the 20s. I just pulled up the forecast for Pensacola. 28 degrees right there, feels like 24. So I guess we're all suffering together. Misery loves company, right?
Right. At least if you live in Iowa in the winter, like we've come to expect this, right?
We've got
like
the fuzzy coat.
This is what it is. This is what we all signed up for. But if I lived in Florida and it was in the 20s, I would not be happy about this.
No, I posted a picture. I had found this when I was scrolling through my phone. It was from last winter that we had been playing at the Luena Bark Park. And he was just sitting in the middle of the snow with his paws all tucked up. He's and his ears back a little bit. He looks like he's done. I think that sums up how we all feel about winter. It's like, okay, I think I'm done. I want to go be warm again.
Yeah, I've noticed when I call my dog, she often ignores me. She has a mind of her own, and I have to bribe her with treats to get her to come back in the house. This has been the opposite this week. I say, Riley, and she is sprinting right back in the house. She does not even want to be outside. So I think a lot of dogs probably feel that.
She's actually listening when you call.
Yeah, so this cold is good for someone.
I know when we were at the Luena Bark Park, when we were driving home, I got a picture. My mom was driving, and Walt has these little whiskers. He had little ice stuck on his whiskers.
Oh, man.
So he was a cold little dude.
That's really, really cold.
But he came from Texas, so I think that may have been one of his first times in the snow. So maybe he was just trying to figure out what all this stuff is.
Yeah, gotta warm up to it.
But he doesn't seem to mind the cold so much. It's the heat that really bothers him.
That's good. Yeah, we've been getting creative at my house because obviously it's too cold for the kids to play outside. And so we've been, they can get stir crazy, I'm sure, as any parent knows, in the wintertime when it's just day after day after day of not being able to, run in the yard or go to a park or something.
Get some fresh air,
right.
Sunshine.
Yeah, and so our basement is currently unfinished. And so we have been letting the kids ride bikes down there on the concrete. And so that was big fun yesterday, riding bikes in the little car,
things,
the little car that you run with your feet, my daughter does that. So yeah, they thought that was really cool. I was like, okay, that's a good win for me today because we got to get some energy out, but also have some fun.
Right, I was on my treadmill and Walt just looked at me like, how do you get to go for a walk? But I have to just sit here and pout.
Yeah, I know. I think
I would rather be outside too. Yeah.
That'd be cute.
He's tried to be on my treadmill. I was watching him and we were perpendicular and he had a paw on it and I was like, no, you better not get hurt.
It's like, how does this work?
I want to be involved.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet.
We're all looking forward to warmer weather, though, aren't we?
Yeah. We'll be here before we know it. Just got to keep, like you said, we're all in it together.
And actually, Officer Tom Dobbs is talking about dogs being outside with a reminder of Marion's leash law. So that's something you can look forward to seeing on the midday.
Yeah, that's today?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, it can't be longer than 6 feet, so those are the rules.
Yeah, that'll be great to hear from Officer Dobbs.
Yeah, he's coming into this in just a few hours.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us for this morning's Rise and 9. Hope you stay warm today.